What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voyage RC. This episode I'm going to be showing you how to replace the centering spring for the steering wheel on the DX3C remote. Had this one for a while. I've probably busted the spring 3 or 4 times already. As you can see, it doesn't center anymore. It just stays where it is. Not a huge deal when you're out scaling, but if you're drifting or racing or anything, you want it to center so you know where it's at all times. So that's what this video is going to be today. I'll show you how to get that done, and hopefully you learn something. First thing we're going to do is take the battery tray off and pull the batteries out. And then the second step is going to be to take this little cap off the center of the wheel. That's something to get in there and pop it off. Seems to be stuck on there pretty good. There we go. Pull that off and set it aside. You can see there's just a Phillips head screw in the center there. We're going to take that off. And the whole wheel just pops off. You can leave the screw in there. Just set it to the side. You can see it just doesn't want to center. And then the next step is going to be to take all the screws off the back side out of all these holes. They're all just Phillips head. So go ahead and start yanking those out. And you will have to take the grips off, which these just pop right off and pull out, because there are a couple buried screws under there. So just yank those off, set them to the side. And then we'll go ahead and get all these screws out. There we go. Now that we have all those out, you can just simply pull the two halves apart. You can see you have the empty side of that one, and then all the electronics are housed on this side. You have to move a couple things apart to get to where the spring is. So we're going to have to pull the throttle assembly off, and that's just the 2 screws. You can see there's one there behind the antenna wire, and then another one up there. Just go ahead and pull those out. Get those screws out, and then you can just pop that to the side. Then we also have to pull this other back casing out. So it's the 1, 2, 3 screws there. There you have it. The whole assembly just comes out. You can see the back side there with the lever and the tensioner. And my spring seems to be nowhere in sight, so it probably fell out and rolled somewhere in the system in here. And shake it out. Anyways, we'll either find that old spring and make a loop on the end that broke, or we'll just throw a new spring in it and reassemble it. Alright guys, I just went ahead and grabbed a new spring. I couldn't find any remnants of the old one in there. So the tricky part here is getting the spring on with the lever and tensioner system and keeping that all set in place. Be a little tricky, but done it before, so you can see this just slides on that post there, and then lays over the arm there. The tensioner post, which has a screw that adjusts the tension on it that you can get from the outside of the transmitter. When that's all done, it's got a little hook that goes down, slides in there, and then you just want to get the springs on to each end of the hook without them falling off. Like that. The spring's a little bigger, so I'm going to tighten up the tension on it. Try to... That spring's going to be too big. Too big of a spring. Okay, well it helps if you have the right size spring. The other spring I had was too big. Let's try that again. Okay, now to get everything back in there without it falling off, which can be tricky. Okay, that brass post just slides in there. Then you can kind of hold it in with your finger and twist the knob. You can tell that you're in there and you got it locked in. So then we're just going to reinsert the screws and start bolting this up backwards from the way we took it apart. And remember, you are screwing into plastic, so you don't want to over tighten it. Just strip it out. It's nice and snug. I like to do this corner one last because you kind of have to get in at an angle because you got the electronics sitting there. You don't want to ruin that, or else your display screen will go out. Butterfingers. Go. Then we can go ahead and reattach the throttle plate. Making sure not to pinch that antenna wire in there. Same with this back screw. You want to, once you get it started, clear that antenna wire with your other finger, and then you can just snug them up. So we got good movement there. Go ahead and mock this up on there, and you can tell that now it's centering on its own, which means we installed it right. Go us. Now we can go ahead, make sure everything's in place, the antenna's still in place, battery tray's still in place. We can install the other side of the housing, which should just slide right in, as long as everything's lined up. First you want to make sure your power switch is set. There we go. Slide this guy back in. Come on. These things are just set in there. They're not screwed into place or anything, so they can be a little bit of a pain. Those little wires tucked. Now we should go in nice and smooth. There we go. We can go ahead and reinsert all these screws and tighten them down. So I will go ahead and do that. Be right back. Alright, now we've got all those tightened down, we can go ahead and reinstall the grips. Just want to make sure you get them the right way, and then just slide one side in, and then you can work the other side in. And you just pop right in, nice and snug. Same with the back one, just work one side into the grooves, and then you can work the other side in. Something like that, nice and comfortable. Then we can reinsert the wheel, which is just the single screw, which we didn't really have to take off in the first place, but I always do, kind of out of habit, but it does make it a little easier to work on without having it on, so I always take it off, but you don't have to. To each their own. That's just a single screw that holds that on. Nice and snug. You can insert the cap that does have a groove in it, so it only goes one way. And there she is, all back together. Now, what I like to do is kind of, since I've broken so many of these springs, I don't know if it's just a DX3C thing or if it's a Spektrum thing, but I always snap the, you can see the, right here, that part that fell out is kind of the hook, the loop right on the end of the spring always snaps off. But I like to play with the tension so it's just tight enough to center. So back it out and then find that sweet spot right where it's just centering on its own. You can see that a little tighter, sticking a little bit. That's better. And a little tighter. Alright, perfect right there. I always keep it as loose as I can. Helps the springs last longer. So then when you're all done with that, you can just go ahead, reinsert your batteries, slide slide the battery tray back on. Easier said than done, right? Come on. There we go. Good as new. Back out on the trail. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope that helped you out if you're having the same problem as me with that centering spring on the steering wheel. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time.